I think that's a load.
Now, tell us how you want to do it. Cold calling is dead. It's time to change your strategy.
What do you mean? Like, isn't the phone king? You always preach that the phone is king. Well, all of a sudden it's dead.
It's dead. It's dead, isn't it?
Everyone says it's dead.
It says it's dead.
Everyone says it's
Who
dead.
says it's dead? You say you're dead?
I think, if you see this conversation pop up all the time on LinkedIn, right? So many people are talking about the fact that it's getting harder to generate pipeline. Pipeline from cold is getting expensive and it just doesn't work anymore. It's a common thread we're hearing.
All right. Can I pick this apart?
Let's pick it apart.
I think that's a load of bullshit.
Now,
Tell us how you really feel, Reed.
Let's talk about your perspective and why.
All right. So the thing is, if cold calling is dead, why did it work yesterday? Like we did it. The buyers that actually we called, it worked. I think that people are only thinking about this as like a one channel issue.
Yeah, but let's go back a step. So what did we do yesterday?
Cold call.
Yep.
A lot of research beforehand. Understood our ICP. Understood what buyer persona we should be focusing on. And then we went into value messaging.
Yeah.
Can I ask, before you did the cold call, were you connected with these people on LinkedIn? Did they know of the brand? So this is colder than Cold Palmer. This is
build a list on Sales Navigator. Yeah. We knew the firmographics. So we had some very clearly defined firmographics about the industry, size of company.
Okay, so you had Sales Nav as one tool?
We just used Sales Nav. We integrated it with our great friends from Lucia.
Yep,
which gave us the data, right? So we enriched. Now, what I find the most interesting part of yesterday's exercise was the contact rate. Contact rate was like 80%.
And people picking up the phone.
People picking up the phone.
Right.
Actually.
Hang on. Before. So using landline, mobile. Technical hit, mobile.
Mobile. We're getting real technical. No dialer, just literally mobile
number
phone.
Shown? Like
number shown, okay. No private.
Yep.
But you know what's incredibly, which was a massive takeaway? 2 people that didn't answer called back.
Called back?
No voicemail.
How many people did you call?
We called a good batch. Good batch.
Give me a number.
I don't know, maybe 10 to 12. So it's not a massive call block.
Yeah, but within a small call block, that's okay.
That's we were just testing something. But 2 people called back.
So 10 called, 2 called back.
Yep.
Did the rest all pick up?
Majority picked up, had good conversations. We booked a number of appointments. And then the one that didn't pick up and we sent an email to, he responded back within 2 minutes.
Okay. So we're talking like, how long did this take? An hour?
Yeah, it was a very, very short call block. Actually, probably a few more calls than that when I think about it.
This is like a low-tech way of booking in calls, right?
Yeah, because we were just testing something, right? We were testing a bit of a messaging. We're also trying to showcase and trying to reduce tension around picking up the phone. That was a primary objective, just to showcase, hey, the best time to call is any time of the day. But I think this is where a lot of companies, a lot of sellers actually, they get cold calling wrong. Let me give you my perspective. And Rees, I'd love to hear your perspective on this because you're a practitioner. Cold calling in its truest definition, obviously, is calling people unsolicited. And we did that. But what we didn't do was call without a reason to call. We didn't call just a whole batch of people. We segmented our list. So we knew who we were talking to and we had a very, very clear reason. And we knew that majority of people we're talking to, there was a strong, relevant hook.
Really important topic today. How do organizations start winning more clients?
Yeah, it's the holy grail basically, right? Yeah. You go into business or you're in business, you're good at what you do, providing a service or product. And then often the go-to-market or the selling side of things is left by the wayside. And it's really a foundation, right? It's understanding who you want to work with, how to reach those people, and how to have those conversations that get to a closed deal.
I think we've discussed before how without a system, like you end up having almost kids on a soccer field. The ball goes that way, people run in that direction. And it's quite reactive.
Yeah.
I think you kind of need to take a step back and actually look at, all right, what problem am I diagnosing? If everyone's going off in their own direction, at their own speed, using different, I guess, tactics, you kind of need to go back to those basics and think, well, how can I create a process that's repeatable, that supports my people, that gives them the right information, that also helps deliver to the client, right? Because you're not going to win if you aren't actually providing a solution to your clients.
Okay. So first thing is what you learned from when you first joined, it was they were very reactive. They didn't have a mapped out sales process on how to have first conversation, moving it to a point of preparing for a proposal and then what to do once they've delivered the proposal. Now that you've put that process in place, or the business has put that process in place, what's been different from a go-to-market perspective?
Oh, that's a really good question. I think that we've seen huge uplift in revenue and client acquisition for starters. And then also the lifetime value of a client has really ramped up as well, which is fantastic. That's what you want.
Yeah.
Outside of that, there's also this mindset and psychology of and confidence with, individuals that aren't necessarily your traditional salespeople that have this, confidence to have deeper and more meaningful conversations with clients. I guess to it as well is that now that there is that, system in place, is that you can actually diagnose additional problems for that continuous uplift as well. Because, every year you want to make sure that your revenue's increasing year on year. But you also want to make sure that you're adjusting to market pressures. You're able to look at from that lead through to qualification, through to proposal, through to close, and be like, treat it like an F1 car. Where else can we kind of fine tune to get the best bang for buck and obviously acquire more clients?
Where do I see this breakdown? I think people are often, and I see this across so many orgs, whether it's tech and advanced tech companies that have been around a long time, companies that just started, professional services firm. We see this across a variety of organizations.
I've seen it across banking, you name it.
It's incredible. But often it's not that they can't have the conversation or they're not competent enough to have conversations, it's they're not going in with a plan. They're not going in with a level of intention around what do they want from the conversation? How is it going to flow? And how are they going to get that conversation from I'm your mate, or this is a new conversation, to a point of that's what the opportunity looks like.
Yeah, we're here to talk business. Yeah.
And often it's preparation.
Well, I think you and I were both at a conference once where the question was asked, what if I haven't had the opportunity to prepare for a meeting? And before you and I even had a chance to answer, the CEO stood up. And what did he say?
He said, if you haven't got the time to prepare, don't show up.
Yeah. Right. Absolutely. So preparation is key, right?
Which is pretty confronting, right? Because there was a lot of people. I think there was over 100 people in that room, and a lot of them sort of stood back and thought, whoa.
Yeah, it's not just confronting. It's meaningful though. I think that is so valid. If I can't take the time, even if it's 5 or 10 minutes, and have a system in place that keeps me prepared and organised all the time, I shouldn't be having that meeting, I don't think, because I'm doing not just me a disservice, but also the person on the other end. Time is one of our greatest assets, right?
Yeah.
So if we want that time and to earn the right for that time, what's step one for you?
Well, earning the right for me is the most important part of the process. If I'm going to ask somebody to catch up with me, even if it's a mate, let's talk about that, right? Even if it's somebody within my inner circle, and I'm going in there with an intention of they're going to help me, maybe with a referral, or maybe talk about an opportunity within their own organisation. I need to be thoughtful about the purpose of the meeting and think about, well, what is the purpose for me and them? Yeah. What will they take away from it? And I always try to look at that. I take the view of what's in it for me, but from their perspective. Yeah. So that I'm not always thinking about me and what I want to take away from the opportunity. So
putting that on paper, and I can say this in my sleep, is at that first very opening of that meeting, it is they thank you very much for your time.
Yeah.
I know we have 30 minutes today. As a part of that 30-minute conversation, I thought I could cover off one,
Yep.
two, give this insight. Is there anything else you want to cover? So that check.
So it's a very structured way
Very
of having the
structured.
conversation.
So that's we're here today
Yep.
for this purpose, for this amount of time. What's in it for me, as in what's in
Yeah.
it for the other person, and then checking.
Growing your business doesn't have to come from new customers.
You're talking about you've won that account, and do you
I've won the account.
overmanage and then
No.
stop winning?
We've,
new ones?
we've delivered the service.
Yep.
They're happy.
Okay, they're happy.
Right?
Great.
They're happy, right? So we've got tick, tick, tick. Now it's opportunity of, is there a way that we can expand within the business? Like, and again, it's going to vary depending on the customer. Where do they have different departments that we can sell into? If not, are there other customers that are like them or similar to them that they can help us get into?
Yeah. Well, I love this concept, right? And I love it because I've been a big fan, and I think a lot of my success in my career came from the land and expand motion, right? Win an account, do whatever it takes to get in the door, because that allows me to have permission to start to influence, go wider within the account and start to capture more revenue from that account, right? Because we all know, as exciting as it is to hunt, it's exciting, but it's hard work. But once we've got that account, sometimes, and what we see with many organizations is they fail to deliver a proactive plan on growing that particular account. So let's talk it through.
It's a hell of a lot easier, number one. You've built
100%.
the trust.
Yep.
You've delivered a result. You've given them an ROI. So to sell to the existing customer again is arguably a lot more easier, right?
And I think the biggest gap that I see when it comes to the land and expand strategy is once they win the account, there's no documentation internally around what could that account become.
So you're talking about like a wait 30 days, then touch base, like a bit of a process?
Going back
or what do you-
even before that.
Okay.
So you've just won the account. Say, let's put a number on the table. It's a 100K account. There's no hypothesis or there's no sort of thinking around this could become $1 million account, right? They're based on discovery questions that's happening in the sales process. You get a fair idea on what the potential, and we take it back to when we had our book launch. We had Marcus. The initial project that we got across the line was a pilot initiative, but we knew there was a bigger project at play. So we leveraged the land and expand model. It was, let's get in, let's get our influence into the organization first. And we knew we had a clear idea on what it could become.
So you kind of think about like short-term win,
Yep.
long-term plan, essentially.
Requires patience.
Correct.
right?
Pardon the interruption. I'm Luigi, one of the co-hosts here at Revenue Leaders. You'll notice we don't run sponsors or ads on Revenue Leaders.
This show is free. Our goal is to help you grow revenue and build your sales system that you can rely on. We do have a favor to ask though.
If this episode gives you one clear idea that you can use, do these two things. First, share it with one person, a founder, a revenue leader, or a rep who wants to grow their business. Just one. That's how the show grows.
Second, grab free access to our vault over at coachpilot.com/vault. Inside, you'll get the frameworks, templates, and short courses we use with clients to help them scale pipeline and increase win rates.
So the deal is simple. If you get value, share the episode with one person and go to coachpilot.com/vault to get the tools to put this into action. All right, let's get back to it.
When you get to a point of proposal, it costs you as the individual, as a seller, it doesn't matter what industry you're working in, you've put a lot of work in to get that opportunity to a point of sending some form of proposal. So it's actually now costing you money. It's different to if you're cold calling someone, they hang up. Sure, you might have spent a few minutes, 5, 10, 20 researching. But at the point of proposal, you've had multiple meetings, you shared some notes, internally had some conversations, and then you're spending time. So now it's actually costing you money, right?
Oh, 100%. So just on that, when I was in banking, Big Four bank, we actually calculated that it would cost us at a minimum to respond to a proposal about $50,000 worth of internal time.
Yeah, and you know what? I can see that because if I look at the stuff that we do, all the the deals that I've worked on, is I probably see there's a fair chunk of time that will go into the audit component, the scope to actually get us to a point of submitting a proposal. Now, absolutely want to tackle how you're winning so much, but I want to flip this now because you're in a role where people are proposing to you. They want you to buy from them. And you're buying from LinkedIn, you're buying from some pretty big organizations, right? Walk me through what you often see when it comes to proposals that are coming to your desk.
Yeah. So I'll just get off my high horse for a second and say,
we're going to put aside this. She's the Harvey Specter, the female Harvey Specter.
I'm just as stylish, eh? I would say that if I pitch more, that would come down.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of that's just good timing, good
So
opportunities.
we'll talk about what your good
move that
proposals
aside.
look like in a moment. But when the ones that are coming across your desk.
So what I'm seeing at the moment is a mixed bag, right? Sometimes either they're proposing too early. So to your point around, an audit scope, like understanding the problem statement, that's missing. It's we've had a conversation. I'm gonna pitch to you. Another one is what I call the pitch slap. So it's like connected on LinkedIn, and then straight away they're like pitching to me. What I'm finding is that there is in the good bucket, it is those that have taken the time to understand my problem. Yeah, and then the ones that are bad talk so much about them. Now, a shout out to a colleague of mine that does it, says it really well, Mary Flanagan. She's like, are you weeing all over the client? So if you look
I've never heard that one. Yeah. That's pretty good.
Like you will remember that, right?
Yeah, that's a good one.
So if you do a search and just search the word we, and if there is from like the vendor, just we do this, we do that, we do that. Like I don't want to work with them because all it is then it's cookie cutter. It's sending things out. It's a churn. There's no opportunity to actually understand my business.